Welcome to this explainer. Listen, I want you to imagine for a second that you are a highly trained secret agent. Your mission? It's not saving the world, but it might feel just as high stakes. Your objective is to extract maximum marks from a completely hostile Cambridge physics exam paper, and you have to do it with absolute precision. Today, we are cracking the vault. We're decoding the ultimate strategic framework for the Cambridge physics exam, specifically looking at syllabus codes 0625, 0651, 0652, 5054, and 9702. We're zooming in on the foundational, yet critical topic of physical quantities and measurement techniques. This isn't just about memorizing facts, it's about deploying a flawless extraction strategy to get the marks you absolutely deserve. Let's start the clock.
Here is our mission briefing for today. First, we'll uncover the 15% advantage. Second, we'll look at mastering method marks. Third, the deconstruct, solve, and evaluate tactical framework. Fourth, we'll navigate the top 3 examiner warnings. And finally, winning with comparative analysis.
Let's dive straight into Section 1, the 15% advantage, understanding the stakes.
Now, it is incredibly easy to look at measurement techniques as just the basics. You know, the stuff you breeze past to get to the hardcore quantum or mechanics chapters. But making that assumption is a massive strategic error. Did you know that physical quantities and measurement techniques account for approximately 15% of your total marks in the Physics 0625 exam? Think about that for a second. 15%? That is a gigantic chunk of your final grade sitting right there in the foundational concepts. We are literally talking about the difference between an average grade and top-tier excellence. It is an incredible advantage if you master it, but a severe, potentially grade-sinking liability if you just gloss over it.
So, what's actually in this 15% block? It tests your mastery of core practical elements. We're talking about the precise use of rulers and measuring cylinders. Examiners are scrutinizing exactly how you measure time intervals using analog clocks versus digital timers. They want to see how you determine average values by measuring multiples. Think about calculating the period of oscillation of a pendulum. You don't just time one swing, you time 10 and divide, right? Now, I want to introduce you to 2 completely hypothetical students to show you how this plays out. Let's call them Alex and Sam. When asked a question about these core topics, Alex completely overloads the paper with raw physics facts, just dumping every equation they've ever seen but offering zero actual analysis of the specific measurement tool. Sam, on the other hand, Sam rushes. Sam completely misses the command word requirements in the prompt, writes down a single final number, and moves on. Both of them are failing their mission. The syllabus emphasizes that top-performing agents, students, don't just regurgitate facts. They show a connected, conceptual understanding that transfers to totally unfamiliar contexts. Moving to Section 2, Mastering Method Marks, the process over the product.
Before we really unpack this critical strategy, I have a quick reminder for you. Before we continue, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ace the Exams, at acetheexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. Click that subscribe button and hit the bell icon right now. All right, let's get back into the vault. This concept of method marks shifts our entire focus from simply memorizing the final product to understanding the examiner's actual grading process. Cambridge heavily rewards the journey, not just the destination. This is the method mark strategy. Points are awarded for demonstrating the correct procedural process. The assessment framework explicitly prioritizes analytical depth over superficial breadth. This means you must show systematic, evidence-based reasoning. Remember our student Sam who just wrote down 2 seconds for the pendulum's period and moved on? Sam got 0 marks. Why? Because if you don't show the process of how you measured multiples and divided to find the average, you are leaving all those vital method marks on the table. To capture these marks, top students use what we call the PEEL framework. Point, evidence, explanation, link. It's how you build an unbreakable chain of logic.
To secure those valuable method marks every single time, you need a procedural framework, a blueprint. You have to follow this exact standardized sequence whenever you process data. Step 1, identify the key elements of the measurement by decoding the exact command words in the prompt. Step 2, apply the relevant physical principles. Step 3, and this is absolutely crucial, execute your analysis with perfectly clear working. Step 4, verify your results. Step 5, present everything in the appropriate format. Let's do a quick interactive check right now. Think about Alex's answer, which was a massive paragraph of random facts, versus a structured response that clearly identifies the tool, applies the formula, shows the step-by-step math, and verifies the unit. Which one is using the Peel framework? Which one gets the marks? Exactly. The structured, methodical approach wins every single time.
And let's be real for a second. Presenting your information isn't just about making your paper look pretty. It's about adhering to strict, professional conventions that examiners actively hunt for with their red pens. Practical application develops professional skills. You absolutely need proper headings for your data tables. You must use the correct terminology. Don't call it a weight if it's a mass. Your units and formats must be appropriate, and your annotations must be crystal clear. This is the secret handshake. It's how you signal to the examiner, hey, I know what I'm doing, I am a top-tier candidate.
Let's hit Section 3. Deconstruct, solve, and evaluate. The tactical framework.
Now we're going to build this into an unstoppable problem-solving loop. We call this the physics success blueprint. When you're facing a complex problem, say a really tricky scenario involving a digital timer, a measuring cylinder, and some weirdly shaped object, you must utilize this three-step tactical loop. First, deconstruct. Identify exactly what given information you have, decode the command words, and figure out what limitations exist. Second, solve. Break the problem down into logical steps and solve systematically, making sure to show all your working for those sweet method marks. Finally, evaluate. Listen to me, this is where so many students completely drop the ball. You have to check your final answers for reasonableness. Does a pendulum period of 0.005 seconds make any logical sense in a school lab? Probably not. Evaluate your evidence quality by identifying limitations and assumptions, and then make justified recommendations. If Alex and Sam used this blueprint, you would literally see their red pen marks transform into green check marks right before your eyes. Stop scrolling. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ace the Exams, at Ace the Exams IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. We've helped thousands of students improve by 2-3 grade boundaries. Join them right now by subscribing to @Ace the Exams IGCSE and turn on all notifications so you never miss our weekly exam strategy sessions.
All right, back to the mission. Section 4, Top 3 Examiner Warnings, Navigating the Trapdoors.
Even with a flawless tactical framework, there are traps. We went straight to the source, the official principal examiner reports, to find out exactly where students bleed marks. Welcome to our interactive workshop portion of the explainer. I'm going to challenge you here. Warning number 1. Candidates consistently confuse cause and effect when describing measurement techniques. If I showed you a complex physics data chart right now and gave you 60 seconds to scan it, could you accurately extract the core trend without confusing the independent and dependent variables? That's a massive trap. Warning number 2. Students rush and forget to check their format and presentation, losing easy method marks. And warning number 3. Providing generic answers. Let's play Find the Flaw. Imagine Sam writes, use a cylinder to measure the water. What's the flaw? Examiners specifically note that students lose marks when their answers ignore the specific context of the question. You cannot just regurgitate a basic textbook definition. Your answer must apply specifically to the exact data and scenario presented on that specific page of the exam.
Here is a direct quote that should be etched into your brain. The examiners say candidates consistently confuse key terminology. The mandate is clear. You must always define terms before using them in extended responses. Never, ever assume the examiner knows what you mean. If you are talking about the period of oscillation, define it. If you are talking about average values, explicitly state what that means in your specific context. Let's do a speed writing challenge in your head. You have 30 seconds to mentally draft one perfect Peel paragraph defining a digital timer's precision. Point, evidence, explanation, link. Go. If you don't anchor your answer with precise terminology right out of the gate, the whole paragraph collapses.
Let's look at the ultimate comparison. On one side, we have the flawed approach. This is Sam and Alex at the beginning of our session. Rushed, confusing cause and effect, leaving terms completely undefined, totally disconnected from the context. But on the other side, we have the optimal approach. This is methodical. It uses structurally sound logic. It explicitly defines its terminology, and it meticulously follows the PEL framework. It's the difference between hoping you passed and knowing you absolutely aced it.
Section 5. Winning with Comparative Analysis. The Final Edge. Let's talk about the higher-order assessment objectives. This is what separates average grades from true, undeniable exam mastery. Data interpretation is a critical, non-negotiable skill in this syllabus. You must be able to rigorously extract key elements from texts and complex tables. You have to interpret the relationships between different physical quantities. And most importantly, you need to draw solid, evidence-based conclusions. For example,
If you are looking at a table comparing time intervals from an analog clock versus a highly precise digital timer, you need to extract the precision limits, interpret how that precision affects the overall reliability of the experiment, and then conclude which tool is better for the specific task. This is also where your time management matrix comes in. You cannot spend 10 minutes on a 2-mark data extraction question. You have to extract, interpret, and move on efficiently.
So here is your cheat sheet recap, the absolute rules for comparative analysis. When evaluating alternative measurement techniques, higher-order objectives demand that you identify both similarities and differences. Don't just list what's the same. You must use specific comparative connectives in your writing, words like whereas, conversely, or in contrast. You must support every single comparison with hard data extracted directly from the paper. Finally, you must draw a conclusion about their relative importance. If we summarize our entire mission today into 3 rules that guarantee top marks, they are: number 1, command word decoding; number 2, rigorous Peel framework application; and number 3, ruthless execution using a time management matrix. This descriptive, analytical, and evaluative framework is literally the pinnacle of the Cambridge grading rubric.
We've completely decoded the examiner's playbook today. We've uncovered exactly how vital structured reasoning is to your success. So it leaves you with a choice. Will you rely on rote memorization like Alex, or are you ready to use this framework to extract every single mark you deserve? Listen, students who implement these physics strategies see an average improvement of 2 grade boundaries, but only if they practice consistently with our weekly videos. Here's your final reminder. Subscribe to our YouTube channel Ace the Exams at @AceTheExams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. Subscribe right now to @AceTheExams_IGCSE and click that bell. Don't let another exam pass you by. Drop a comment below right now with your target grade for physics and the biggest challenge you're currently facing. Our team responds to every single comment. Like and share this explainer with a study partner. Ace the Exams, your Cambridge success starts here. Apply this framework, evaluate it, and conquer your next paper. See you next time.